anxiety, distress, that's the way that I get things done. If I'm not under pressure, then I speak too long, and I hang around like a bomb. I think I'm going nowhere, and that makes me nervous. Everybody's out to get me, but I feel alright. Everybody's out to get me, but I feel alright. Everybody's out to get me, but I feel alright. Everybody's thinking about me, but I feel alright. Everybody's out to get me, but I feel alright.
You know, I don't like video game executives very much. That may come as no surprise, considering I've run such episodes entitled "The Game Industry is Run by Fucking Idiots." But every now and then, they just say things that wind me the fuck up. Like today. Today's episode may be seen as petty by some, but then again, I am a petty individual, and sometimes game executives just rub me the wrong way. Especially when they're Strauss-Zelnick. Let's enjoy! I do so love it when video game executives aren't talking strictly to the public, but to other business people, because it so often shows the world what a human mind would look like if it were a ruptured anus full of vindictive hornets. Take Strauss-Zelnick, for example, whose philosophies and goals often shed so much insight into Take-Two Interactive, a company whose love of microtransactions, DLC, and pre-order culture is almost as zealous as any EA or Ubisoft, to the point where its bullshit business model was a big part of what made Turtle Rock's Evolve such a greed-driven shitshow. You know, Zelnick and his company don't get nearly enough criticism for the stuff that tumbles out of their dribbling diseased brains, but Strauss would like to fix that with his recent talk at the Cohen & Company 45th Annual Technology, Media and Telecom Conference. Ooh. During his little bit of public speaking, the Take-Two CEO unveiled his future dreams for Grand Theft Auto Online, and with it, his low opinion of the people who make up his customer base. Contempt for an audience is something I think most of us are used to seeing in the video game industry by now. It's exhibited by Ubisoft's bold-faced lies, WB Interactive's content-carving conniving, and Konami's clearly spite-fueled insistence on existence. But to really get an unfiltered taste of liquid disdain, you've got to go straight to the source. In this case, Strauss-Zelnick's haunted ghost-filled mouth. That's an industry rumour that is true and not made up, by the way. Strauss's mouth is lousy with apparitions. Before we unpack the offensive bollocks spewing from Zelnick's spooky lips, let's look at what he said in full regarding GTA Online, microtransactions, and the place you, his dearly beloved customer, have in his world. You can't give stuff away for free in perpetuity. There's no business model in that. We are convinced that we are probably, from an industry view, under-monetizing on a per-user basis. But we're not trying to optimize the monetization of everything we do to the nth degree. My concern is, if you do that, the customer knows. They might not even know that they know, but they feel it. There is wood to chop, because I think we can do more, and we can do more without interfering with our strategy of being the most creative and our ethical approach, which is delighting consumers. We're not going to grab the last nickel. Oh, look, it's a nickel. Doesn't sound particularly respectful, does it? I mean, it barely sounds like he regards people as fucking humans. I'm imagining myself talking like this, talking about the Jimquisition's Patreon, for example, and discussing my audience, you lot, like you were logs to be chopped up and fed to my financial furnace. And I am pretty sure I would become deeply unpopular among my own viewers very quickly if I did. I mean, more unpopular than I am now. Because it's fucking insulting, and while I understand that comparing my privately run business to a publicly traded corporation is incongruous, I do feel that I can call bullshit on Zelnick's argument that no business model exists in free content because, well, did anybody have to pay to watch this video? You offer a product people like and, in my experience, and from what I've observed with many business models, people will pay to support it. If people like you, of course, and if you treat people like people. With some respect, rather than treat everybody enjoying your product like they were cattle to be fed to a mincing machine. And make no mistake, that's how Zelnick sees you. In fact, from the sounds of things, if you aren't paying to play in GTA Online, he basically considers you a freeloader. We can't offer free stuff in perpetuity. Fuck off, Strauss, you cheeky shitter. You sold the game for $59.99. Twice! None of it's free. Not only that, but GTA Online had microtransactions from the start. Grand Theft Auto 5 became a fee-to-pay experience the moment GTA Online went live. I've seen the "we can't give it all for free" bollocks used to justify microtransactions in premium games before, but this is the first time I've seen it used to justify more microtransactions in a game that already had microtransactions. Take-Two has quite literally not been giving away everything for free in perpetuity, but that is how Strauss makes it sound. Because of course to him, if you're not pumping a consistent money flow into his bank account, you're less than nothing, just some unchopped wood waiting for the right-sized axe to come along. His statements about under-monetizing on a per-user basis represents not only a list of words that churn the stomach when combined, but Take-Two's lamentation that, although it's making money hand over fist with the GTA franchise, and GTA Online's microtransactions in particular, it's not got a direct line to every single player's wallet yet, and if you think you've been looking at a blank screen, you're not. It's just the violin playing for Take-Two is so fucking small, you can't see it. But don't worry, because like Strauss says, Take-Two isn't going to optimize monetization to the nth degree. Not because it would make their game unpleasant to play, of course. Not because the psychological manipulation inherent to freemium mechanics is a barrier best reserved to games that are actually free. Oh no, nothing so humanizing as that. No, his fear about overtly monetizing his premium games is that the audience, usually too stupid to understand naturally, will start to cotton onto it. If you do that, the consumer knows, he says, talking as if he's been pulling the wool over everybody's eyes until now. They might not even know they know, but they feel it, he says, talking as if you're a bunch of cud-chewing animals and he's the smart, wily hunter. I don't much care for GTA Online, to be honest. Tried it, wasn't keen on it. Lordy though, if I were a fan of it and the CEO of its publisher said that about me, I'd feel beyond fucking denigrated. But that is how you're seen, not just by Take-Two of course, but by Activision, EA, Namco, most of them really. It's evidenced by their actions, but regularly backed up by their investor calls, shareholder meetings, and public speaking engagements. These are the people that literally visualize the free-to-play market as animals, splitting paying customers into whales, dolphins, and minnows to represent their spending habits. You're fucking sea creatures to these people, and I'll refer to them as people only to begrudgingly afford them the respect they can't afford to others. To be perfectly fair to Zelnick, he did follow up his statement by saying he doesn't want people to buy bad content and consequently feel bad, softening his "they know" comment with a little pro-consumer rhetoric, and talking about how his company takes an ethical approach to monetization that is delighting consumers. But Take-Two sold Evolve, so I guess I don't buy it. Some may believe I'm truly making a mountain out of a molehill this time, and you're free to think so, but I absolutely cannot fucking stand this attitude. Here we have a company that just recently reported impressive last quarter earnings, with GTA Online being a huge source of what it calls recurrent consumer spending, and yet we still have a CEO pleading poverty and pretending that it's doing us all a huge favour by not badgering, pestering, and mentally battering players into spending even more money. Because as I've argued for many years and as developers have confirmed to me ever since, game publishers are never content to make money. It's not enough to make money, it's only satisfactory to make all the money. You can turn a profit with a game all you like, but if it's not all the profit, the maximum amount of cash that could conceivably be squeezed out of the living and the dead, it may as well go in the fucking dumpster. Oh yeah, your game might make its money back and then some, but because those sea cucumbers in the corner aren't spending $5 a day on it, it's trash. This is why I simply don't fucking entertain the arguments people have in favour of microtransactions in games you already pay for up front, because every noble reason people can give for their existence, how games suddenly couldn't afford online play, how microtransactions allow such altruism as free maps, how games are just so expensive to make and there's just no other way to make up that shortfall, all of that reasoning falls away when you get a glimpse at the mind of the men pulling the strings of this industry, the shared, singular hive mind of these besuited, plastic-smiling, expensively tanned spam droids that have more money than you'll ever dream of, publicly talking to other spam droids about how they need to maximise monetization potential and maintain retention of their dolphins and their whales. And I'm sorry, I know I said I'd afford them the respect of humanization, but I quickly decided they didn't deserve it, and also I don't know what a spam droid is. Justin, can we get a visual for spam droid? Thank you, Justin. The game industry thinks you're all stupid assholes. The game industry thinks any second spent playing a game without spending money is 1 second too much. The game industry will never be satisfied with the money it makes because there's always more and it desires the most. And I'm not just imposing these viewpoints upon the industry, it's what the industry itself has said many, many times. Dressed up and dripping in buzzwords as you'd expect, but the sentiment isn't even thinly veiled. The veil was left in the dumpster with all the games that made money but didn't make enough money. It was left in that dumpster years ago and I don't think it's ever coming out. No, these views aren't imposed, these are views espoused. Estroused. Like Strauss-Zelnick. Estroused. Your old pal Jim Sterling knows when he's beat. He's the greatest showman in games media, but he knows when he's beaten. And on the subject of microtransactions, he is beaten. I'm aware of that. I know that that war was lost long, long ago. Microtransactions in $60 games, fee-to-pay games, are just normal now, and everybody, well, nearly everybody, treats them as a banality. But I won't. I may have lost, but I shall continue to fight until there is no fight left in me, because, as I've said before, for any reason, microtransactions in $60 games, and, of course, thank God for me.